I had a customer $8,000 upside down in his trade, and dealerships push you towards 72 and 84-month loans because that lower payment feels like a win and that number just gets buried. Almost no one brings it up, but here's the conversation that they're not having with you. Stretching the term doesn't make the car cheaper. It just moves the cost out further, and it buries what you actually owe until it's too late to actually change course. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's happening to your money as the term stretches and how to catch it before you sign. I spent decades structuring these exact deals. Longer terms, lower payments, bigger bills. Here's the math they skip. So I had a customer that was driving a performance sedan. This vehicle was his dream car. He has 2 kids. His wife is now pregnant, so they need a completely different vehicle. His wife wants the Grand Highlander, which is a bigger SUV. In this scenario, they've only had the car for about a year and they're $8,000 upside down. Now, this is the part where it stops being a car problem and now it becomes a math problem. So the negative equity from the trade-in gets rolled into the new car, and now the payment is gonna go up because you're making the new car payment plus you're paying off negative equity from the old car. And then on top of that, we have to stretch the term to 84 months because we have to keep the payment within budget for the customer to afford it monthly. With all that said, can't discount the car because now we have to be able to offset the negative equity from the trade. With all that said, I made sure to let my customer know, if you go through with this, you're gonna be keeping this car until it's paid off because you're gonna be upside down in the vehicle for a very long time. Now, most salespeople are not gonna have this conversation with you. A lot of dealerships are not gonna walk you through this, so here's some questions you can ask in this type of scenario. Number 1, how much negative equity am I actually gonna carry over? And number 2, like how long do you actually think I'll be upside down in this vehicle? And the answer should be, very direct. They should tell you something like, you're probably gonna be $6,000 upside down carrying that to the new loan, and you can't trade this car in for at least 3 to 4 years. Now, if they tell you something like, don't worry about it, you can trade it in a year and a half, 12 to 18 months, that's a red flag because you're gonna need a lot of money out of your own pocket to be able to do something like that 12 to 18 months from now. Now, obviously, if you take on a longer term, you're gonna end up paying more money for that vehicle in the long run. Everyone knows this consciously. I'm completely aware of that. But here's the thing, a lot of times when you're in that moment, you don't think it all the way through. Now, a lot of people in this situation, what they'll do is they'll just say, you know what? I'll just pay extra, I'll pay more aggressively in my payments because I'm comfortable with this number, but I'll just make a higher payment. But that generally never happens. You're comfortable at this number and you're gonna pay that number for the whole life of the loan, so you'll end up paying extra. Or the second thing that they'll do is they'll say, you know what, I'll just go ahead and get it refinanced in a year or 2. But again, if you have negative equity before you leave, you're probably gonna have negative equity at that time. And a lot of times the banks aren't gonna wanna refinance you on that loan. Or lastly, I'll just trade it in a couple of years. And this one is the most costly because even if you're able to do it, you're stacking all that negative equity into the next vehicle you buy. The fact that you owe more than what the car's worth, what that means for those plans you had set, pay it off faster, refinance it, trade out of it, you'd have to do that perfectly just to get back to the even point. If you're doing that, that's not a plan. That's just hoping for the best. If that last line hit home for you, hit subscribe. I break down deals like this every week. Now, before you think that I'm trying to talk you out of doing something like this, no. I just want to make sure when you go visit the dealership that you're well informed, that you know exactly what you're getting into if you're going to have some negative equity walking into the deal, financing it for a longer term. Most of the time, no one at the dealership has this talk with you. So I want to make sure I have this talk with you. I'm not anti-dealer. I'm just pro-informed buyer. Know what's happening to your equity before getting stuck with a longer term. That's the difference between choosing it and getting stuck with it. And if you want the 7 secrets that dealers really don't want you to know, I left a free guide, link in the description below. Next, watch the one thing that car salespeople know that you don't. It changes how all these conversations goes. Watch it here.